Okay, I'm just going to give a quick kind of overview about the Scottish campaign that's coming up, Scottish elections on May the 5th. And after that, we'll be straight through to the cafeteria for lunch, in case you're all getting hungry. So I expect there won't be very many questions after I'm finished because everyone will want to grab their lunch, but that's fine. So basically, I'm sure we'll have seen on the forums, there's been some sort of discussion about the Pirate Party standing in some of the regions for the Scottish Parliament. So I'll just sort of kind of quickly explain a bit about what that is. Don't know if I won't bother. So, Scottish Parliament was set up in 1999 by the Labour government. It's pretty much settled in Scotland now that everyone's kind of gotten used to it, and it's shifted the sort of political focus point for most people from Westminster to Holyrood. You know, when most discussion about politics is done, it's in the media and things, it's Holyrood. The Scottish Parliament was set up in contrast to the Welsh Assembly, which was set up with defined areas which they had control over. Scottish government, they said, right, these are the particular areas that we're going to reserve, you know, things like immigration and defence, and then everything else you can just do what you like. So it's pretty wide-ranging influence and power, and they have the actual ability to make real legislation, which is obviously good for us because we could, you know, do something like, say, change copyright law. Anyone up for that? The Scottish Parliament is elected by a system called the additional member system, which is also used in New Zealand and Germany. It's a proportional system. It's also used in Wales and London Assembly. It's a proportional system. You have constituencies within regions, and the region on the whole will be elected on a proportional basis, with party lists used to top up the seats so that the overall number of seats is proportional. So you need about 5% of the vote to get a seat, give or take, which is a fairly realistic, I'd say, long-term goal. And the Pirate Party will be standing in at least some of the regions, probably not all of them because they are quite spread out, but some regions we are a lot stronger than others. We're in the Glasgow region here, which is quite a good region for us, and we have some candidates who have been, the vote was up, you'll see hopefully. We have 4 out of 5 of the candidates who are elected here, so if any of them want to sort of give a quick 2-minute, just say who they are, for the benefit of people who don't know them, that'll be good. I'll start. So, I'm Finlay, I'm standing in the Glasgow region. I stood here in the general election for Glasgow Central constituency. Got 128 votes. BBC reported it as 120, and I've never forgiven them. Those extra 8 votes make all the difference. But I think this could be what I really hope to do in this region is be able to show a significant increase in the votes we got percentage-wise, and obviously real numbers as well, from 2010 to now 2011, because they are quite comparable, you know, at least in terms of percentages. Obviously we have a different system, so it does make a small difference, but I think if we can say we've gone from getting, you know, 0.4% to maybe 2% or something, that would be a really big win for us for morale. You know, unfortunately, Laws didn't get as many votes as we hoped, even though we got an amazing amount of media attention throughout the country. Within Oldham itself, these things, you know, when everyone else in the country saw Laws, but for some reason, and these things happen, you know, by-elections are tight, and it can be quite demoralising, you know, even though, if you think about it, take a step back, think logically, well, it's not a great constituency for us, we didn't really have anyone there, it was all rushed at the last minute because the Lib Dems decided to, yeah. But I think a good performance will give us a big boost to morale. I'm sure you'd all like to see, you know, the Pirate Party getting something like 2%, like they've got in some other countries like Germany, recently in Hamburg. And it can get you noticed if we are, you know, a contender. Maybe we're not getting seats, but if we are a contender, you know, we're above like the Loonies and the BNP, UKIP and stuff. You know, we're kind of, that's where we want to be, and I think it's quite achievable. At least here in Glasgow, I'm hoping to get started quite soon. get some stuff bought, start getting out there on the streets. Now that the conference is over, a lot of money. Right after that, we'll be getting out. Glasgow Uni is quite close by. Those who were here yesterday for some drinks will be kind of in that area. Glasgow Uni's really great for pushing the free software stuff. It's amazing. All the computer science students know who we are. All the first years have to do an essay on the pirate party movement. So it's a pretty good place to start from. Yeah. I'll let a couple of the candidates just introduce themselves really quickly, and then I'll kind of explain about what's actually going to happen over the next couple of weeks and months. So we've got 3 others here. Who wants to go first? Anyone? Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Right, I'm Phil Hunt. I'll be standing in the Lothians region. I stood for Edinburgh Council last year, and I got 0.65% of the vote, which is not brilliant, but it is our best result so far. I'm confident that we can do a good result, particularly in Lothians, because Edinburgh is the city in Scotland with the highest level of internet uptake. I want to have the Digital Economy Act as one of the main issues that I want to campaign on. And I also want to see if we can get some votes from disillusioned Lib Dems. The way the electoral system works, because you've got first past the post members and you've got top up members as well. The Lib Dems will probably get 2 first past the post seats in the Lothian region, and they'll get about 10% of the vote, which means that everyone who votes Lib Dem in the regional vote, that's a wasted vote. So they might as well vote for someone else instead. And that's one point that we'll be making. Incidentally, the same is true for people who vote Labour in the Glasgow region. If you vote in the regional vote for Labour, it's a wasted vote. You might as well just not turn up to the polls. So that's something like a tactical voting thing that I think it may well be profitable for us to emphasise. I also want to talk about issues to do with student tuition fees and the education maintenance allowance. They're devolved issues. They've been got rid of in England and Wales. What will happen in Scotland after the Scottish general election is up in question mark, really. So that's something I want to emphasise. Okay.
Mark or Mark, either of you?
I'm Mark Wood. I'm from the Highlands and Islands region, but it seems quite likely now that I won't be standing in it. I weighed up the number of members in the area, which is me, and I thought that I couldn't possibly run a successful campaign there, one that would make the party be respectable. I thought that a single person standing in an election in a region, it would be a little silly. So I've decided that I'm probably going to be supporting Finlay in Glasgow and hopefully offering my services to the rest of the country as well. I got involved in the party quite early on. As Finlay says, in the University of Glasgow we have a choice of an essay on the Pirate Party, and from that I got quite interested. I signed up, but I was busy. I was one of these people who just thought I didn't have time for the party, so I was just a member. And then, sort of following the general election, the Lib Dems joining the Conservatives was when really I felt I had to get a lot more involved in the Pirate Party, in getting a different kind of politics in Britain and Scotland. I mean, my goals for the campaign, I would say, are a little more reserved than the others. We were discussing last night, and I think I agree that when we can reach a point where we are consistently beating the small parties, the English Democrats, the loonies, the Bus Pass Elvis, then we earn a level of respectability, and that is when we start getting taken seriously and start becoming a real, option for people. So if there's anything that I want from this campaign, it would be that we beat those parties, that we beat the small parties, that we get noticed, that next time when people come to elections, they think, Pirate Party, I know them, they have a serious agenda, they're worth voting for. That's what I want.